That being said, I mean, even then, if it were a Master Sword, it wouldn't turn into a Master Sword until you got the Fiber Sword. So
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And we are now underway. No sword today, but there could be one in the chest. Let's find out. Nope, just a big 20.
Yeah, well, it's just the first chest, so I'm getting some money early, like, it's not bad.
1 out of 216, and of course, the big 20 being the most common item in the game, you kind of expect it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I actually like getting like a big 20 in the first chest, because that means you don't have to do a menu as soon as you get to the uncle.
Alright, so there is a hammer from the uncle. That is pretty much the fastest. What? Okay, there's a fire rod in the second chest.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe this will be one of those escape when we get every single weapon that's possible to get from the uncle.
That would be a interesting feat. So we got hammer and fire rod. So now the hammer is usually faster for beating things up. There is an argument to be made though for using the fire rod on the ball and chain guard because it kills it in one shot. Though you do have to wait on the fire to go out.
Yeah, and you do have the menu, and it's also worth mentioning, since they didn't get the fire rod from the uncle, they didn't get a full magic as well. They do have enough for 2 shots at least, though.
Right. Both of them went ahead and grabbed the magic underneath the 2 pots standing nearby. Now, Elminster did manage to find a bomb drop between here and there.
Yeah, and it was on a green guard, so saiontea will have to kill at the very least one more. So maybe there's some more bombs in the drop table from the green guards.
Well, there is one green guard that definitely has to be killed, but no drop there. Got just a full heart container in the boomerang chest. That is going to make it a little easier to survive down here, but most people don't have any trouble getting out of escape.
Yeah, so let's see what they decide to do here.
There we go.
saiontea.
His bomb from that first green guard there.
Yeah.
A pot and hammer strat from saiontea.
And then they get bombs anyway, so
there we go.
I guess they have enough for Kakariko as well, so that's always good.
Yep, very nice. At the very least, we can have enough bombs to do the 3 things in Kakariko, and then by that time you're next to the shop where you can buy some more if you need some for the race game.
Yeah, both runners making good progress here. The hammer taking out the ball and chain gun very quickly.
And we will now be heading to the dark escape section, where we can, of course, find additional items. We still have not seen the map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that one. We do have the small key though, so 4 out of 5 chests coming up here is gonna be unique items at the very least. And if they're lucky, maybe the map will be in Sanctuary and they can just skip that chest all in all.
So as the commentators, we of course have to be completely neutral on this one. And to be honest, personally, I don't know either of these runners that well, so I don't really have a dog in this fight. But I am very, very happy to be able to commentate such a important match.
Yeah, for sure. This is bound to be a good one. You can see during the escape sequence here, both are making a really good time and keeping pace with each other. Back escape not having anything of value.
Hey,
really.
That puts map in sync.
Yeah, that's very nice. They can just skip that chest.
So if they've been paying attention, they will skip that chest and save a little bit of time. So Elminster leaving escape with a 5:45 approximately. Sion with a 5:50.
Yeah.
And Elminster doing the save and quit option, which I saw for the first time yesterday.
Interesting. So they'll be going to Sasha then, I imagine.
Yeah. I figure the idea here is you have enough bombs right now, so, and you're gonna do CAC anyway, so might as well just go this way.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You have some reliable weapons to take out the minimal armor as well. I mean, the hammer is not always the most fun way to take them out, but you do have enough bombs if you want to use that as well.
Right. So we did get a map check. We saw crystals on Eastern and Desert with a pendant on Tower of Hera. Also, plenty of bombs available. The looks like the Hoarder Crab is dropping 4-packs today. Did I see that wrong? Was it a pendant on Desert?
Because
that's the way the tracker has it marked.
I'm not sure. I think I saw a red crystal, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a crystal. Crystal 6, it looked like. I didn't actually see red. I just saw a number.
There's a bottle from saiontea in the Lost Woods, so that's always nice, finding a bottle before making your first trip into Kakariko, so you can just clear out the kid straight away.
Yep.
So, Minimulam Cave.
Still pretty sure that Eastern was a crystal bell. Alright, so Blue Mail in Mini Moldorm Cave. That's a very nice place.
Yeah, and we have both fire sources already.
And Blind's Hut today having a piece of heart, some capacity upgrades, and not much else. We'll see what the back has. Oh, and there was a lamp, apparently.
Yeah, the lamp was in a minimal room, and we got blue boomerang from Blind's Hut there. So yeah, not finding progression in both of those spots quite yet, unless the progression is in that dark room in Eastern.
Silver arrows in Ice Rod Cave. I do expect saiontea to go pick that up, but that is going to, sort of be a weight off of their shoulders, not having to do silverless Ganon.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people prefer not to find the silvers because that means your opponent didn't find the silvers.
Yeah, and saiontea just found a mudload, getting both the boots and the mirror from the well.
So that just basically increased your mobility. I don't know what the official factor is, but I'm going to rate it at around a 2.7. That's just a made-up number.
Yeah, well, I'll just agree when it comes to numbers. Makes things easier for me.
All right, so there's a glove in the chicken hut. So yeah, big stuff in Kakariko.
Yeah, I mean, this we already have Hera in logic at this point.
Yeah. saiontea will have to go get that lamp first, but
Yeah.
oh boy. Okay, there we go. saiontea just now got enough money to do the bottle vendor and got a refund and then some.
That was a pretty good deal, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm kind of worried about the bottle vendor's business plan at this point.
Well, luckily for him, you can only buy that item once. Oh, and with those boots, we can just collect a sword from the library straight away.
Very nice. So we've got sword, we've got boots, we've got mirror. I mean, all sorts of wonderful things. I think at this point I would more than likely be checking out Death Mountain real fast.
Yeah.
Once I got the lamp, of course. Just to check out, or just to one, grab that save and quit location, and two, you can clear out Hera, even though Hera is a pendant.
Yeah, I would imagine that...
Oh, but you've got the hammer too, so you can go to Paradox Cave. Duh. So.
Yeah. I would imagine that once both these runners have collected all the items from each other's early checks, they will probably both head up Death Mountain at this point. Because that's definitely where the seed is trying to point us right now.
And the time that saiontea has the boots away from Elminster is about to come to an end, as Elminster is now in the well. Gotta pull up the boots and the mirror. So, saiontea will likely go to Ice Rod Cave. That's a pretty traditional play from here, and if he gets the... And when he does so, he'll have the silver. So if he doesn't decide to go to Ice Rod Cave, that could be a disadvantage, but
yeah,
it looks like he's going there.
Yeah, especially having the boots, you don't really have an excuse for not checking it straight away.
So we did get another map check there just to be absolute certain, and it does turn out that there is a crystal on Eastern, a 5/6 crystal on Desert, and the blue pendant of that Tower of Hera.
Yeah, and Elm also getting one of those really good deals from the bottle vendor, but unfortunately chasing.
I think he might have done that on purpose.
Yeah, it could have been.
There's your advertisement for the dev team about VTorp and all the other people who make this possible.
So saiontea is heading over to the eastern area, and the Sahasrara hut as well. It's gonna be interesting to see if Elm decides to do the same, and it kind of looks like no, they're going to Sanctuary, so probably going up Death Mountain instead.
There is the red mail in the back of Sahasrara's closet, and it looks like Swamp Palace is our green pendant today. And Elminster is doing the Death Mountain play, so the very least, he'll get this. Well, he's gonna get like 10 items.
Yeah, there's a
Or
bunch
12.
of things that you can collect up here. And all of them are in logic as well, so that's...
Yeah, Elminster does have the power glove right now. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get through that rock.
Maybe it's just really strong by nature. So first item in Eastern, I mean, is 300 rupees. So we definitely have a lot of money so far on the scientist side.
All right, inside Spectacle Rock Cave, we've got a slideshow.
Well, it didn't get it, so probably not anything important.
Could be something like a bug net. I know a lot of people, not a lot of players at this skill level will skip that one. There's the big key of Eastern.
Ooh, and a small key to begin with in Hera, so unless you get a big key in the second chest, you will have to go down the basement if you want to do the rest, and it looks like that's the case.
But Elminster is going to go ahead and do it. I know a lot of people at this point might decide to peace out. There's, only 2 items in Hera, and it is a pendant, so you might not want to finish it. That being said, I am not one of those people because I can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I can definitely see arguments for both of those. But I like checking it because you don't want to leave like just 1 or 2 things up on Death Mountain. If you can minimize the number of times you have to go climb Death Mountain, that's always a good one.
I do like the idea of maybe going to do Paradox Cave first, and then if you don't find anything, come back to Hera. There is the big key as we expected. I believe both of these runners were 5 and 2, unless I am mistaken.
Yeah, I think so as well. So Scientee heading up the mountain now as well.
Elminster gonna do the bomb jump here using bonk strats. Though I think he was actually in a fine enough position to not even have to bonk.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to be safe though. Looks like the last item is a Moldorm, so we will see our first boss fight for today.
The hammer Trolldorm fight, pretty standard, just 3 hits to the tail and you're fine. Now saiontea is going to get that item that was in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Interesting. Oh, it's the flute.
The flute. Oh, okay. I guess Elminster just planned on coming back to get it.
Yeah, it might do that as a last check on Death Mountain.
Because there's no way you just leave the flute lying there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm getting it now. We did see Sion teasing us a little bit, trying to hover the spot that Elminster tried to bomb jump, but unfortunately both of them failed it. It looks like our last pendant is in Feast Town, and the second red crystal was in Skullwoods. So Feast Town being a pendant, that's always an interesting one.
All right. So saiontea gonna head into Tower of Hera. We'll see if he decides to clear it or if he decides to peace out.
It looks like they have the same mindset here. Gonna finish it before going to the rest of Death Mountain.
Alright, so Elminster is going to see the big 20 on the floating island there. That's something you always want to remember to go check.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise it could be quite a while before you return to Death Mountain. And we get to do a spiral cave with boots, so that's always nice.
And that's 3 bombs.
Yeah, so I guess, well, actually it doesn't have to be in High Paradox Cave, but chances are you're gonna have something here at least.
Yeah, it does seem quite likely. We are gonna need to see that Moon Pearl pretty soon. Or we may have the worst way to have to go to Aghanim.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate. Maybe we get Titans here, because we do have the food. Oh, there's a cave.
Oh no.
Oh.
I spoke too soon.
That's not a good sign.
There it is. Whew.
Yeah, saves.
Just
a little bit of teasing before getting the Moon Pearl.
Alright, so that is Dark World access. So I imagine Elminster will be heading to one of those Dark World portals. Looks like we'll probably be heading for Hype Cave first.
Yeah, looks like it. It's a very fast check, and if you get something that definitely will change your routing, like getting this early can definitely be a good thing to do. So Hype Cave, starting off with a big 20, and another one, and another one, and then we got bombos, okay.
I thought we were about to go 5 for 5 there, but we got the bombos and a shield, so bombos is really the only somewhat relevant item there.
Yeah, seeing as we have both Mire and Turtrock as crystals, the bombos could very well be required for one or both of them. Ooh, that's a pretty good spot to have a shovel, I guess. But unfortunately, they went to shake Stumpy first, so they're gonna have to go back there again.
Yeah, that's a relatively nice place to find the silly thing.
Yeah, you don't have to go out of... Oh, there's the book. Okay, that's interesting. And the funny thing with that book, it actually puts the pyramid in fairy already.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. The whole desert palace thing happening here. It's like we dug up an ancient text. What does it say? It says, "Get good." What?
Oh, and we dug up a single arrow. There sure is some items to dig up. So saiontea now having the Moon Pearl, doing the same route here, going to Hypecare first. So the only real divergence we've seen so far is that saiontea went over to the eastern area as well. Didn't really have anything except for the red mail, so that's not really gonna hurt Elminster. I don't think they have a lot of hearts at this point already.
Yep. Now everybody say hi to everyone's favorite swag duck, because Elminster just activated the flute. So where we'll be heading next? I mean, basically anywhere.
Yeah, you didn't see it, but my body was in the formation of an O and a 7. Just there.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
And Elminster is going for desert. We do necessarily have everything for desert here.
Yeah, so I think that kind of makes sense. Just follow the logic at this point. Any excuse you can get to not go into Pendant Feast Down is an excuse that I like, so...
So the reason we haven't done the Nagina check is it'll probably come afterwards. I like to do Agina last because I like to save and quit out of Agina's Escape.
I would imagine so as well. It's a pretty good save and quit point. If they didn't have the boots, they might have checked it before just in case Agina had boots, but they have everything to full play this, so...
Alright, right-sided desert. The red boomerang. And big 20, so that's both of the items for desert. Nothing really important, so I imagine Elminster will be heading directly to Land Molas to finish them off.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. Having Fire Rod is gonna make the Lemos fight pretty easy, especially when you have half magic as well, so it don't really matters too much if you miss a shot or two. So saiontea activating their flute as well. Let's see where they decide to go after this. Because there's definitely a option for route divergence here. Yeah, they're heading up to this portal, so probably gonna head into Skullwoods or Village of Outcast. Also having that early cape, they can just retrieve whatever is on Bumper Cave if needed.
Alright, so Elminster grabs that crystal number 6, I believe, while saiontea is now heading into Skull Woods.
Yeah, it's also a crystal dungeon that you can complete right now, so it makes a lot of sense.
Here's Agina's Cave, basically the last Sphere 1 location we haven't seen already. Just a big 20, so nothing there as expected.
So how many big 20s are there in the game? 20?
So there's 20. There were 28. I think it might have been reduced to 27 when they added the 10 bomb drop.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Either that or they replaced one of the 3 bombs with 10 bombs. I'm not sure what they did.
So I'm now checking out eastern area where at very least Ashland to begin with.
Alright, so Elminster now has his red mail.
Yeah, it's always nice to check some of those sphere 1 locations. 'Cause it could take a while before you get back there sometimes.
Alright, so Elminster is going into pod, doing the bowless pod thing. Bow could always be in pod. That's
an interesting decision. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of the Palace of Darkness having a lot of value during this tournament, so... In the meanwhile, saiontea is heading over to Muffler. They did find a shield upgrade. I'm not sure if they found the second item. So the half magic and the red mail, also having a hammer, is gonna make this Muffler fight a little bit easier than just doing it with a fire sword.
Getting a nice little graphical glitch there. Just a small key in the first chest, but that does mean the bow can still be in here.
Yeah, I think at this point Elm is probably happy to see that small key, because that means they can probably, most likely, check a lot of chests in here.
Additional key, meaning, as I might expect, he is going to go ahead and check that big key chest. The idea here being attempting to bow lock yourself out of here as quickly as possible, or find the bow.
Yeah. So there's a heart, so if there's no small key here, they will be bow locked.
Setting up mirror. He's gonna mirror, but he is gonna go in, because now it is possible for the bow to be in the back of Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and saiontea having a pretty clutch fight there against Mothula. Looked a little bit rough at some point, but got it done. So well done for saiontea, getting their first crystal of the race.
There are, of course, plenty of items that can be in pod, not just the bow. At least right now, he knows that the bow isn't locking him out of these things logically.
Yeah, and yeah, all of the checks being done here by Elm right now isn't logic, so...
And we know now for sure that there could be something in the room below. We picked up 2 small keys. here. So what do we have? It's a Master Sword.
That's not bad. Could be quite useful with that book as well. And we're having a pet check here from saiontea, and
it's a bottle. It's an empty bottle.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to see that one come into play. Ooh,
there's the big key.
The big key, so yeah, that's going to unlock the big chest as well.
Yeah, at this point... Oh, and there's the Cane of Berna. Hey, Brian, what are you doing leaving your cane and pallet? What's wrong with you?
So, finding the map as well. Well, Palace of Darkness didn't open up too much, but it did open up a couple of things. Both Spike Cave and the tablets are now in logic.
Yeah. So yeah, the tablets were in logic. The Spike Cave was already in logic. There's the ice rod.
That's a very nice find, because you don't want to be just like an ice rod away from go mode, because it can be anywhere. So very nice to get that out of the way.
Yeah, basically when you find the ice rod, your entire life gets better, and it doesn't matter if you know whether Turtle Rock is a crystal or not. It's just, I will not have to be searching for that.
Yeah, for sure. And with boots, heading over here to Graveyard Ledge makes a lot of sense as well. You can do both this and Kingston when you have the mirror. So both our runners are being very thorough in their search for now, so that like if it comes down to finding that one last item, both of them is gonna have like less locations being a one-off here and there, so that's always nice.
Very little route-based gambling going on here. About the only thing we had a gamble on was Elminster's opener, and that did not pay off at all. There is the Cane of Samaria in King's Tomb.
Yeah, the king might be old, but also dead, so it's not gonna need that cane.
Yeah, basically. Alright, so Scion now gonna head into Desert. Gonna clear this out, much like Elminster did. That will be the second of the 5-6 crystals, which would make Pyramid Fairy a thing.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can route in the Pyramid Fairy together with the Pyramid Ledge. Like, especially when it's early on. We're starting to enter the mid-game, but we haven't had access for Darkwood for too long, so... Very nice Gibdo and torch room there from Elm, making use of those boots and actually killing the Gibdo before Mafia as well, even though they already had a small key, so maybe some NMG muscle memory kicking in there. Very fast Mafia fight, very well done.
Oh yeah. And, you know, a little bit easier than the fighter sword fight that was sort of forced on saiontea when he went there.
Yeah, for sure. Master sword compared with the fighter sword is it's almost night and day.
So now Elminster's going to go get the chest in the bridge room. Big 20, so Elminster now going to head over to the light world. He's going to do a pedestal check, which will also inform him of a potion or of a bottle, and that's it.
Yeah. And checking pedestal makes a lot of sense when you have access to it in easy fashion, especially with the crystals that you have. There's like a lot of things that potentially could be there.
And Elminster now heading back into the Village of Outcasts. We may see a check on Thieves Town coming up.
Yeah, I think this is our first visit into Outcast overall, so it's gonna be very interesting to see what's over here.
In fact, the fact that he checked the pedestal might sort of give away the fact that he's thinking about doing Thieves Town, because you might want to know if the pedestal is required so you know if you have to kill blind or not.
Yeah, and having the mirror, they might decide just to do the first 4 chests in Thieves Town as well. It's very fast just to check them and then head out if you wanna just continue with your search.
Yeah, so the Dark Black Rock, you have to have the Titan's Myths to lift. I'm not saying that I accidentally tried to lift that twice yesterday without the mitts, but I might have done that.
Yeah, I think we all have done that at some point.
Alright, so Elminster is making the dip into Thieves Town. This is a pendant dungeon, so it's not necessarily required.
Yeah, and finding the compass already means that in the front of Thieves Town there will only be maximum 2 items. So we'll see if they decide to
is
head in
fluting
back.
to 4. It looks like the pyramid fairy is happening.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. You route that in to get up at the ledge and then maybe head up to Catfish as well.
Yeah, seems pretty good. Alright, 2 pieces of heart in the front of Thieves Town, and Elminster is piecing out. Which is a reasonable play. There's only 2 items left in the back, so it's probably better that you spend your time elsewhere. And he's going to go to Bumper Cave, which is going to be a very nice surprise for him.
Yeah, and at this point, we have both rods, we have 2 medallions, we have the Kin of Samaria. As soon as we have those mitts, we might have everything in Tertraki logic. So, nothing on the ledge on Pyramid, but inside of the Pyramid Fairy, we have...
There they are, the Titan's Mitts! Inside the Pyramid Fairy. That is a very interesting place to find them. But given the Crystal Dungeon layout, it was very possible.
Yeah, and that opens up a lot of things.
Yeah, we've got access to Mire area, we've got access to Dark Death Mountain, we've got access to Ice Palace.
Yeah, and it's a very real possibility of our runners being able to clear all of the last 3 crystals that normally it's the last dungeons you do.
Yeah, and it does depend on the medallions that are available, but you never know.
Yeah, and Ice Palace would also logically require the flippers. But,
right. Yeah, I wouldn't go into Ice Palace without the flippers.
Yeah, I wouldn't
unless
imagine them to do
I
that
was
at this
otherwise in go mode. So like if I find the bow, I'm going in.
Yeah, so at this point, we might only need the bow and hookshot for go mode, actually.
Hookshot. Forgot about hookshot.
We might still need Ether as well. So.
Right, and though we are in one of those situations where the hookshot could be in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
Okay, so Elminster is going to check the ether tablet. Just a large heart container.
Yeah, and a little bit unfortunate for Elm heading up here before getting the mates.
He is heading into Spike Cave. That could be important. Alright, so we see bombos required for Misery Mire and bombs in the Spike Cave. Just general garbage in Mire Shed. And yeah, it looks like we're going to see the Checkerboard Cave, followed by potentially a dip into Misery Mire. I mean, Mire is going to take about the same amount of time no matter how much you do. Sion's going for that mirror shield.
Yeah, normally if a runner saw a shield there, I would assume that they would just skip it, but at this point it's the mirror shield. Well, why not just pick it up?
Oh, he's leaving Mire area. Interesting.
Oh, buying some potions.
All right.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do Fire Sword Mire at this point, which is even in written.
It's a little gross, yeah. Unless you find, say, the bow in there, trying to take down Vitreous without a potion seems like a losing proposition. But Saiontea's going to go up to Death Mountain. I'm guessing he's going to go ahead and check out the medallion for Turtle Rock as well as Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, at the very least you have 7 locations you can do if you don't find anything in Hookshot or Super Bunny and Spike Cave. And if it isn't Ether, you can also do the rest of Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah. Well, without the hookshot, it's a little difficult to get some of the chests in Hookshot Cave.
Oh, yeah, right. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, if you've got hover skills, knock yourself out.
We did see Saiontea tease us a little bit with some hovering attempts earlier, so who knows?
I was proud of myself. I got to cross a one-tile gap hovering the other day.
That's one tile more than I have, so.
And I'm never going to be able to do it again. I think Elminster is doing Pyramid Fairy. Oh, he forgot to get the bomb. Oh, he's going to make a teleport point. Okay, that's a thing. Yeah, you can do it that way. Maybe? Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, because you're going to use the mirror and you're just... Yeah. I think he just forgot to get the bomb.
Likely.
That's okay.
It happens. Yeah, it's not often you have Pyramid Fairy after you get your second crystal, so it's an easy one to forget.
So we do see that Turtle Rock also bombos.
So I guess that makes Hype Cave actually a little bit hype, because that gave us access to 2 full crystals to full clear.
Yeah, that is true. And to be honest, I think, well, first of all, powder. That's all that needs to be said.
Agreed.
Powder's there. Second of all, I do feel like Turtle Rock tends to have a lot more value when you can access it.
Yeah, and it's not always very fast to do in Go mode as well, so it doesn't hurt you too much if you full clear it, and it's not a lot of things in there. I mean, like, best case scenario, you can skip the laser bridge and the lava chest, and maybe roller room as well. Most of the times that's not going to happen.
So saiontea is going to go ahead and go into Turtle Rock. Now, I think Elminster will be a little less shy about going into Mire. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I did see him practice Green Mail Master Sword fight against Vitreous before the race started, so Red Mail Master Sword should be a lot easier at that point.
Yeah, without the hookshot, you are going to need to... Hey, there he goes. saiontea remembering the direction. You need to go without the hookshot.
Yeah, and with the boots, you can bonk over that area that Elm just did, so the hookshot is a very real possibility to be in here.
There's a mushroom in Turtle Rock, so we're just bringing up all the fetch quests here today.
Yeah, more or less. With the flute, it's gonna be a very fast check as well, so that's always nice.
Alright, so Elminster going into Mire, 2 items in Mire. There's the big key, so if we'd been go moding, it would have been pretty quick. Unfortunately, not today.
Elm is probably gonna hope that you're not gonna be able to go mode this.
Yeah, so he's hoping for something like bow here.
So something our runners probably don't want to see ever in this race is the flippers, because that would unlock the front part of Swamp Pass as well.
Yeah, that is true. I wouldn't be surprised to see hookshot in Mire. It likes to be there when I have the boots.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. And I've seen bow in Turtle Rock in version 29 a lot of times. Would be interesting to see if that happens today as well.
Where it was in my race earlier today.
So Elm so far picking up a big 20 in Mire, so there's 1 item left. So it's either in this chest over here, the big chest, or Vitreous, I guess.
I don't think he actually went to the cutscene chest yet.
Oh, okay, but he found it anyway, so
we're done here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be possible to go mode Mire later, so saiontea not having the Master Sword might actually help him a little bit.
Alright, so we're going to get a look at Mimic Cave.
Yeah, and as a friend of mine likes to say, it's always Mimic Cave.
Well, not today.
Yeah, I'm kidding. He usually says it's never Mimic Cave. Oh, but there's the hookshot.
Oh,
in the big
hookshot in
Turtle
Turtle
Rock.
Rock. That's where the bow was in mine. In that chest right there.
It's always a little bit funny to see a required item in a big chest.
Some people will opt to skip it. Mire had a big 20 and a heart container, so a whole lot of nothing.
So yeah, I'm being a little bit low on hearts here, but having the cave makes this first phase a lot easier. Even getting some sneak attacks in there on the big guy as well, but no more magic now, so I'll have to be a little bit careful.
So I think Scion picked up the mirror shield knowing he was coming to Laser Bridge here in a second. So there we go. That is everything on Laser Bridge.
And a very nice fighter from Elm. Getting another crystal and getting a full heart refill as well, so sparing us from that vanilla beeping as well.
Yeah, that's a sound that's going to haunt your dreams at night. So if a dungeon has a star or a spike next to it on the tracker, then those crystals or pendant, respectively, will unlock another item somehow. So with the crystals, you do 2 of them to unlock the Pyramid Fairy, and with the green pendant, you unlock the item at Sahasrara.
And yeah, for sure. I'm heading up Death Mountain now as well, so probably gonna get that hookshot. And speaking of the hookshot as well, saiontea is gonna be able to check the rest of the hookshot cave after finishing off Turtle Rock here.
Yep. So Elminster is right behind, so I imagine we'll be getting similar checks from both of our runners.
Yeah, and very good hammer fight on Trinex from saiontea.
So basically,
Oh
no.
That's unfortunate, because well, that puts Swamp Palace fully in logic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could always be an ice palace.
Yeah, hookshot and flippers are both items that could be. I mean, flippers are always required for ice palace, and hookshot could very well be required for it as well. First we have the hookshot cave. Maybe they can be saved here, but no, it's bottles, so we're gonna have to keep searching for that bow.
So it comes down to the good old-fashioned gamble now. Saiontea's going to go ahead and do Spike Cave, which Elminster's already done. The main difference between our 2 runners right now is Elminster has checked what he can of Palace of Darkness looking for the bow. Saiontea has not. So if saiontea decides to go to Pod, he's going to waste a bunch of time. Otherwise, he could try to go into Ice or Swamp looking for the bow. I mean, I feel like I probably go to Ice first just because, 1, it's a crystal, and 2, Swamp is garbage. What?
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning that I don't think saiontea has checked anything at all in Outcast at this point.
I know people in chat are going to get onto me for Swamp is garbage. It's not always true.
I would agree that Swamp is garbage after you find the Titan Smiths. Then again, I played the Siege yesterday when I had 4 required items in Swamp, so...
Yeah, the sword that Elminster found was in Palace of Darkness, so... Oh yeah, he hasn't checked Thieves Town either, so...
Yeah.
But Elminster only checked the front 4.
Yeah, exactly. And saiontea hasn't checked the overworld stuff in Outcast as well. And that bow, like, it can hide in a lot of places at this point.
Yeah, I've basically come around on Swamp as garbage, except when you're looking for the mitts or the ice rod. Because the ice rod does not care for your logic. It can be wherever it wants to be. Samaria is another fairly common item there.
And saiontea heading into Ice Palace. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's a crystal onion and you can complete it, so...
Alright, so Ice Palace. It's time to see what's inside. So 3 items. Depending on the way you want to route this, you may or may not do the bomb jump. When you're just looking for one item, it is often customary to just go ahead and do the bomb jump, hoping to find the item along the way. But that's just a big 20. There is often a sword in Swamp, that is true. Luckily, there are a lot of those.
Yeah, so, and it's also worth mentioning, Elm did do Mire, which saiontea has not done, but that's not really gonna hurt saiontea too much, because if they just keep skipping Mire for now, they might be able to do it in Go mode later, and as we know...
Yeah, it's actually gonna be a good Go mode.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very good Go mode. So Elm picking up that hookshot as well.
Right, there's the big key of Eastern. Eastern Ice. Ice is the dungeon he's in right now. The place where the ice is.
Yeah. And that's interesting because
I think it was on the ice on the east side of my screen, which is why I said it. And then I almost said the ice side of my screen.
So depending on the small keys in the remaining chest on the left side, that could mean that Ice Palace is hookshot locked by logic.
Thank you, Brocadile, for that subscription there. Yeah, since the big key was on the left side, it is definitely hookshot locked by logic. Yeah, we do have a couple of fetch quests that need doing as well.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
Nothing
there is
here on
the
the right
compass.
side.
And the way it's looking, we may have to hit up Iced Tea Room.
Yeah, we have iced tea room, the big chest, and a coaster left.
Elminster using actual magic strats.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to see. I mean, with half magic, you can definitely do it. So IC room had a green rugby, so I think that still leaves one item left
I
here.
believe so. It's possible I missed something, but I don't think I did. Yep, that's it. And so
Oh,
ice
yeah.
is a bust. So now we're down to swamp and basically flipper locations and fetch quests.
Yeah, something like that. So it's gonna be interesting what they decide to do first. Seeing how saiontea hasn't checked anything in Outcast, they might be they might go there instead.
Yeah,
Swamp, but like it's hard to tell at this point. It's all about that one gamble or which one pays off. That is.
yeah. I don't think the Smith chain has been done.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did that. Haven't seen hammer pegs as well, which I guess is kind of part of the Smith chain. And we did see saiontea check Hobo before going into ice, but they didn't go up to the waterfall cave, so they might do that next.
Alright, so saiontea flutes to 6. He's going to go ahead and do Mire, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like. So that's a little bit unfortunate for saiontea. It's not a bad call, because this is the last crystal you can do at this point. So definitely makes sense. But,
Unfortunately, he will have to go ahead and fight Vitreous in this loadout. So, good luck with that fighter sword.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you're doing hammer hits, right?
I would assume so. Yeah. You do have 20 bombs, so you could use some bombs as
bomb
well.
Strats.
Combined with like the hammer.
Bomb strats Vidi is kind of fun. There is, in fact, also going into Ice Palace, so we're gonna see, some replays of some dungeons we've already seen before.
And saiontea with that mirror shield deflecting one of the Wistro's attacks. So that mirror shield paying off a little bit.
We haven't seen Smith Chain, we haven't seen the mushroom or the powder, we haven't seen the witch or the magic bat, which mushroom and powder were both found on Death Mountain.
Yep.
Or Dark Death Mountain. We haven't seen any swamp.
Yeah, and then we have Waterfall Fairy. And,
we did see Shroom? Okay. We did see Shroom. It was a heart piece. So I imagine powder will get taken care of when we do the whole smith chain thing.
Yeah, most likely. And it's worth mentioning that Swamp Palace normally has 6 items, but since it's the green pendant, it basically has 7 items this time. So you can turn in that green pendant for a additional item. So Saiontea finding the first item, not doing the cutscene quite yet as well, so probably gonna find that heart container instead and can just move on.
Yeah, that is the way that Elminster also routed this seed. Or this dungeon. So the routing will not be making up time either way on either side. Saiontea is going to go ahead and go to the big chest first, though, so that's going to be one more check that he does.
Yeah, and speaking of Elminster checking that big chest as well, there is nothing really of value in Ice Palace, but gotta say one of the items was 100 times better than one of the others, at least.
That is true. But 100 times garbage is still 100. There's still a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm getting a little bit low here. I don't know if they have any potions, so you're gonna have to be a little bit careful. Oh, they do have a blue potion. So yeah, better safe than sorry at this point. You don't want to go all the way back to Cold Stare.
Yeah, death at Cold Stare is one of the most costly.
So that's the 4th crystal. Oh, the 5th crystal, I mean, for Elm.
Yep.
And since they already did Mr. we know that they're not going to head over there right now, so we'll see what Elm decides to do.
Let's see where he goes. He's floating to 3. So this is probably Smith Chain followed by the back of Thieves Town, maybe?
Something like that. One
or maybe Smith Chain followed by Swamp.
Could
Because
be, yeah.
the Smith Chain ends over at ends over at the purple chest guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good routing to do, and I don't think they checked Bombo's tablet, or actually maybe they did. I'm not sure.
I think Elminster checked Bombo's tablet.
So we do see Saiontea using some bombs here to weaken the small
Bomb Vidi strats. Very nice.
Yeah, if you throw enough bombs here, they will die, or at the very least you can weaken them enough so you can just one-shot them with the hammer. Well, we do see a few of them starting to disappear here, so that's a good sign.
Doing some fighter sword spins to take out some of these eyeballs. So we're employing some cape strats with spins. The only way to damage the eyeballs with the fighter sword is with a spin attack.
Yeah, that will do massive sword damage. So the smith giving a bomb upgrade to Elm. Not really what he was looking for.
Right, so Saiontea now employing hammer strats. I believe it's going to be 16 hits with the hammer.
Yeah, something like that. And there.
He did get a few in with bombs and such.
That's true. When Vitreous does shoot some lightning, he becomes vulnerable for attacks. So magic bad, 50 rupees.
And it's purple chest time.
Yeah, and Elm equipping the flute, because they already did Stumpy and the K45 and all that, so no need to go over that area again.
No, it takes damage. It's just you can't reduce it to 0, or you can reduce it to 0, but it'll still you'll have to hit it at least once it becomes free.
Purple chest, bombs. So this is looking like a swamp play from Elminster.
Yep, that does look like the case. All right, so Swamp Palace at this point does have the highest density of items.
And it looks like saiontea is heading straight into swamp as well. Might be thinking, well, Feast Town and Outcast has been open for so long, I haven't been there, so I better just take the chance with being in swamp instead.
Both runners have checked the pedestal. They both know it is a empty bottle.
So if this turns out to be in the swamp, that's going to be very interesting, because they're going to hit go mode almost at the same time. And saiontea will very likely find that Master Sword in pod while looking for the big key as well.
Yeah, it's possible. Big Key's in the dark maze, and it does seem likely that he will head that direction later.
Would be quite ironic if the bow turned out to be offline this entire time.
What does he need with a bow? Can't really do archery if you can't see what you're aiming at.
I guess he's doing a blind run.
Oh, okay.
So seeing how few locations we have left, even though it's like 1 hour and 17 minutes, that's definitely a testament to how good these runners are. They've been running through the sea very fastly.
Just a ridiculous amount of checks and efficiency. $50 in the compass chest. So, what was in the first chest?
I think it was the map.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's something on the left side.
And we see divergence, saiontea going for left side first, while Elm is going for the more dense area in the back. So if it is in swamp, it's looking likely that one of the runners will get a little bit of an advantage by the route they decided to take here.
Big key and
compass. A compass. So there's definitely two items on the left side wall, and that's where saiontea is heading right now.
Elminster is managing to avoid the man-eating staircase.
Yeah, very nice.
Heading back out to the big chest. Piece of heart in the big chest, and Elminster is going to go left side, knowing that there are two items there. Because at this point, it's kind of a toss-up. 2 items in the back, 2 items in the front.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. And we might see saiontea doing the same thing as Elm here by going up to the big chest again after finding that big key paired with the compass.
All right, so left side, Garbo.
Yeah. You still have that opportunity to say that Swamp is garbage if it turns out to not be in here.
Well, I mean, we'd still have to wait for the green pendant to turn in.
Yeah, well, I guess technically the bow would not be in Swamp at that point. And I gotta say, if it turns out to not be in Swamp or on the green pendant, I would imagine that both runners is gonna feel pretty bad about this gamble. Not bad about making the gamble, but more like it's gonna feel bad that it didn't pay off. Might make them feel a little bit behind here.
Alright, so saiontea gonna get the big key and the compass. See if he decides to head upstairs. He does. The stairs got nothing on these runners today. So the way you do it, it has to do with dashing into the stairs. I believe it has to be a key dash. Don't hold me to that. And then you turn, then you hold left, and there's the bow.
There's the bow, and saiontea is still heading.
What are you doing?
Oh, he's looking for a sword.
Oh yeah, he's still looking for a sword upgrade.
So that's gonna give Elm a head start here. They already have the big key for pod as well, so I'm not gonna have to search for that one. This is unfortunate though, especially since saiontea is probably gonna find a master sword in pod while looking for the big key.
I imagine so. Though, you know, this does give him the opportunity to check the green pendant on the way there. That could be a sword.
That's true, and Argus could very well have a sword as well. If saiontea ends up with a temper sword from this, that would be the best case scenario for sure. But in the meanwhile, Elminster is not wasting any time at all, heading straight to Palace of Darkness, and then gonna mirror to Eastern, and then it's just up to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, Elm definitely picked up the bow.
Yeah.
Alright, so just 3 hundo from Argus. Argus. Elminster knows there's a small key over here on the right-hand side somewhere, so he's heading over here to pick it up.
Yeah, and saiontea now flew to 5 as well. Head into Palace of Darkness.
The Master Sword we saw was in the Harmless Hellway here in Pod. Just a piece of heart there on the ledge. Elminster obviously checking a quick location in hopes of getting a better sword.
Yeah, there's still an item on Helmsar as well, so that might be a sword possibly as well. And wow, both Argus and the green pendant turn out to be free under Rufus. So saiontea is rich at this point, but not getting any swords.
Alright, so saiontea still has to go through here and find that big key, while Elminster is on his way to finish off pod. So we're going to get the pod Eastern clears pretty quick here. Then it'll be time to go up to GT.
Yeah, and silver arrows is gonna make both Helmsar and Armos Knights coming up here a lot easier or faster, which is the most important part at this point. Oh, missing the last hammer, but switching to the bow. Okay, there we go. One arrow to Helmsar and he explodes.
A big old chunk of damage, like 100 or so, from that silver arrow, and that will take down Helmsar.
Getting a heartbeat, so getting the health refill before picking up the crystal, gonna save them a little bit of time here.
All right, so Elminster now heading into Eastern Palace. Not convinced he's checked any of this.
Yeah, that's true. It didn't ever go in here, so we're gonna have to search for the big key to begin with.
I believe the big key is pretty early. I know it's not in the vanilla location.
Okay, so that's good news for Alden. Searching for the big key in Eastern is definitely, or most of the times, faster at least than searching for it in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, you must have at least a Master Sword in order to damage Ganon, otherwise you are a bit out of luck.
Yeah, they should make a mode where you can do it with the Fighter Sword, but you have to do like double the amount of spins that you normally do with the Master Sword instead. It would be interesting. saiontea checking out the right side here in the back before going into the darkness, so that will give them the sword upgrade. And there's the big key for Elm.
So there is a swordless run. Like of the vanilla game, there is a swordless run, but it ends when you get to Ganon because you can't win.
That would be one way of doing it. Hey, there's the Master Sword for saiontea.
Alright, so saiontea no longer has to check for weapons, though he may do so. He's going to get this big key coming up.
There it is.
He is going to go ahead and check some additional things.
Yeah, both runners at this point checking a couple of extra chests, and it makes sense. Like, there's such a difference between doing Master Sword and Temple. But it's definitely feels bad for every check that you do that is not a sword.
So at this point, if I were these runners, I would, I would make a beeline for GT, and then I would check, the things I check trying to find the big key. If I find the big key in like Rando room or the right-hand side or Stolfo's room, I'd probably check the remaining chests in that room.
Yeah, speaking of GT, I think it's time to do a little bit of a game, yeah?
Oh, it is.
Elm has 7 crystals, so he's heading up to Ganon now. There's 22 locations where that big key can be. So put your guesses into chat of where the big key will be located. So number between 1 and 22, and if you're a subscriber or donated 250 bits or more to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you will be able to be on the leaderboard if you are the first who guessed the right number.
So my my traditional guess is Bob's chest, which, you know, depending on your route, is either number 14 or number 18 or number 19 in some really weird runs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna say. Which number it would be in. I think 15 is normally the vanilla one. So let's go with that. I want to see it behind ice armors at least, so it doesn't hurt any runner too much if they decide to go right or left. Yeah, it was a match today where the right guess for Ganon's tower, or the closest guess to the right one, was 24 because it was in tile room. It was pretty hilarious.
All right. Entering Ganon's tower right hand side, we've got a red rupee and 5 bomb upgrades, so no immediate check of the right hand side today.
Yeah, unless you do Dark Magician strats, you're probably not going to be able to go to the right side. So number 4, another small key, and another small key, number 5 as well. And 7, no big key, so let's continue.
Alright, so moving on to chest number 8. This is the vanilla map chest, otherwise known as the fire bar room. Mainly on account of those fire bars. And that's another small key. The ability to have small keys there was added in like V27. Used to not be possible.
Interesting. Not sure when I started to play, but it was probably around that point. Maybe it was version 26.
And yet another small key. That puts tile room in the running. Elminster? What? Elminster, what are you doing? Okay. Whew. I was worried. Wait, no, he's not going there. He's skipping Rando room.
Oh, well,
I think he did it on accident.
Yeah, I would assume so. That's a little bit unfortunate.
And that is sort of like, that is what you do in NMG, is you skip Rando room.
Yeah. So luckily for Elminster, if it turns out to be in Rando room, is that Elminster is in a pretty good lead at the point, so might still be in the lead afterwards, but
So that makes Bob's chest number 10. Number 11, Big 20. Number 12, Piece of Heart. Number 13, Ether Medallion.
oh boy, yeah. And
I mean, at this point, you just go right and
Yeah.
just hope.
yeah, for sure, it's a pretty long way back to the render room, for sure. And saiontea is heading up the mountain as we're speaking, so this might be a lot closer at this point, depending on where the big key is. And yeah, I'm checking tile room first because they do not want to go back to.
Yeah, I actually like this play, given the earlier mishap.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fact that you know that all the small keys have been found.
Yeah, so if you guess number 22, well, if it turns out to be in tile room, unfortunately, you're not going to be correct this time. But it's not.
Just a piece of heart. That was chest number 14 today. As saiontea enters Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and no matter who picks up the big key first, we will be going for Elminster's routing in Ganon's
There it
tower.
is.
There it is.
Number 15. So, I guess you win?
Oh, was that number 15?
Yep.
Huh. Fun how things work sometimes. Well, I didn't put a official guess in, so I think someone else won.
This is another situation where my key counting algorithm failed.
Yeah, and seeing how this turned out, Elminster finding the big key. Well, they did do tile room, so it's probably not going to save them too much of the time, anyways. But all of those chests, we checked, what, 15 chests, and still didn't get a sword, so heading up to the tower with Master Sword.
Yep.
Might see a Bowfriend is checking the last 4 chests on the way up for tempered, or maybe it's even in render room.
In this particular situation, I would likely check at least some of the chests on the way up.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It doesn't take too long of a time compared to how much time it can save you.
Here's Rando Room. It's got a sword.
There's the tempered sword. That's very interesting. But at this point, I would imagine Elm is still in the lead, and that sword alone will probably not make up enough time.
Right. It is a very, it is quite a gap at this point. You know, the difference between mastered and tempered with silvers only comes on the first 2 phases, and it's not really that big.
Yeah, and with half magic and the cape, you can
mitigate some of the problems.
Yeah, you can get in a lot more hits in a safer fashion as well. Helm is actually at 18 hearts as well, so very healthy.
That's a lot of hearts. I've seen a 20 before, and that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's always interesting to see.
All right, saiontea now heading downstairs over to the right-hand side. We'll see if he decides to check tile room or go straight for the compass room.
And Elm getting that very important map so they can actually find their way to. Interesting to see the map in that location. one more chest that we can check before Agony and Ganon. And it's not a sword.
So Vanilla Big 20 in the final chest, meaning it's time for Geometry Wizard. And saiontea also decides not to check the remaining 3 chests in that room, but of course he's got Tempered Sword, so he's not worried.
Yeah, at this point I don't see a reason for saiontea to check any chest at all.
Elm with a very nice double on the first one. Only gets a single on the second, and this is the god setup.
Yeah, but getting a blue ball and that was unfortunate. That was a very good one from Elm as well, so I get him down.
Tempered was in Rando Room, and Elminster accidentally skipped it. But luckily it didn't hurt him that much, as the big key was on the right-hand side.
Ooh, Ganon not standing too close to the corner, so it's a little bit hard to get some double hits, but that was a better position.
And is not cooperating with this Master Sword phase here.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't blame him. If I was a pig, I did not want to turn into bacon as well.
There is that. So Elminster now, I believe, has 3 spins on the second phase. That makes 4, and an additional 4, 5. 7, it looks like.
Yeah, doing very well here in the Master Sword, the second phase, which is definitely the trickiest one. You do have the silvers.
And that will do it. That will get him to phase 3.
Yeah.
And there we go. Alright. Spinning for each of these hits will knock down half the floor. Or the edge of the floor anyway. Then we'll start getting into silver shot mode.
Yeah, that's the last hit for the third phase. So going for the torch glitch here. And getting it very nicely. Ooh, and this looks like a good setup for double.
Yep.
So only one more hit away from taking this. Oh, getting a silver hit as well. So a little bit of overkill here, because there Ganon goes down. So GG's to Elminster. Just needs to cross the finish line here, and there we go. Elminster has advanced to the next phase of the brackets. So GG's, spam your GG's in chat file.
All right.
Very good run.
And Elminster takes this one down, takes down game 3 of this match with an official time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 33 seconds. Congratulations to Elminster.
Yeah, seeing how they basically fulfill almost everything in the game, and with like Master Sword for most of the run, or in the saiontea's case, even the Fighter Sword. It's a very good time.
And we should be trying to get Elminster in shortly to discuss this particular run.
Yeah, and there's Hagging him down for saiontea as well. So it's not going to end up being very far behind at all. Especially now having the tempered, the Ganon fight should be a bit shorter as well.
Alright, so saiontea entering the Ganon fight will have a much easier time pulling it off because of that wonderful tempered sword picked up.
Getting a very nice double spin there on the tempered to get the one cycle in the first phase.
I gotta learn that.
So it didn't really count, but yeah, that was a one cycle as well. And it looks like we're joined by... nope, we're not.
Well, we were joined by him momentarily. I think he'll probably come back in shortly.
Yeah, we might wait for saiontea to finish up here as well.
There we are. We are joined by the winner of today's race and the winner of this match, Elminster. How you doing?
Oh, I am very stressed out right now.
I am not surprised. I'm assuming that you didn't intentionally skip Rando Room.
Oh no, I just didn't feel like checking it.
Sure.
So do you know what what ended up being in Rando Room? Or can you take a guess of it?
I'm gonna guess there was a sword in there.
Yeah, it was.
Good job.
There we go. saiontea finishing with an official time of 1 hour 46 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah,
A very
well
close race all the way around. So let's talk about some of this seed. So saiontea was actually on Fighter's Sword for most of the run. He didn't go into pod until after he already had the bow. So he was on Fighter's Sword, so he actually went ahead and beat Argus and turned in the green pendant on the way to pod. There was some money there. So you checked a lot of things that saiontea didn't, and saiontea checked. I'm thinking saiontea's collection rate will probably be lower, just because there were a lot of things he didn't check. I know you went into Thieves Town. Were you thinking at all about going to the back?
I really didn't want to go to the back because I did Hera like right away, which was stupid, and I wish I hadn't. It had nothing. So I was like, I need to be like really careful, really selective of like what extra stuff I check now.
And your opponent did the same thing there with Hera. He actually did both chests as well. So nobody pieced out of that.
It's interesting. Because
yeah,
I lost game 2, and one of the big differences in game 2 was the fact that when I was in the Mire area, I mirrored and did all the Green Pendant Desert, and saiontea did not kill Land Molas for that, and it was a bust. That wasn't like the whole reason I lost, but that was a part of it. So it was on my mind.
Right. So let's see. So your opponent actually went up to Turtle Rock, I believe, a little earlier than you did, and seemed to be kind of ahead until you both converged on Swamp at roughly the same time. It was pretty magical from where I was sitting, to be honest.
Oh wow!
Like you guys both got in there at about just a few seconds apart, and then saiontea picked up the bow and went to Argus, and you didn't.
That's crazy. I was a bit worried that I went back and did left side before finding the bow, and that cost me time when I was like really one room away from it.
Yeah, both of you actually ended up doing the left side before getting to that waterfall chest, and both of you ended up having one dungeon each to go mode. Pod was not very fast of a go mode though, since the big key was in the dark maze.
I was kind of hoping I had an edge there, and I really didn't expect him to do pod or without the bow. I kind of did it as sort of a semi gamble. Like, I don't think it's too bad of a play, but it's not something people always do. And I was hoping to try and find some better items for like some just, I don't know, like mitts or something.
Yeah, and that sword definitely did a difference for some parts of the run, especially I would say the Vitreous fight.
I was really hoping the sword would help me out, but like I didn't find much else in there except the book, and the book made me like want to capitalize on a possible advantage there, which like I went out of my way for either tablet, spike cave, and then Bombless tablet turned up nothing, so I was a bit worried that my dip into pod is going to cost me time.
Yeah. So so one of the rarities we saw in the seed was that glove in the Pyramid Fairy situation. That's something you don't see too often, but you know, when the two 5-6 crystals are available that early, it's not out of the ordinary, to be honest.
I kind of forgot about Pyramid Fairy for a bit, so I put it off longer than I intended. And then when I went to Pyramid Fairy, I forgot to bring the big bomb with me, so that felt really bad. And then like I skipped Catfish because like I don't know, I felt bad already. It was like I only have like a couple go mode items left. I think I was only looking for bow and hookshot, and I was actually thinking if I didn't find the flippers, I was gonna fake flip into ice and look for it there.
All right. So we can probably bring in our other runner as well. He's willing to come, but he doesn't have the invite, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
I can send it to him, I guess.
I know they generally tend to send out invites through a bot of some kind. I'm not sure if that's manually controlled or if it just happens at a certain time.
It seems to not have been working this time because I think you guys had an issue getting in here at first. I'll just see if I can find him on Discord.
So we can see here on the credits 171 collection rate. That's definitely not one of the lower ones.
Yeah, there were a lot of things you had to go through and check in this particular seed. I mean, let's see. So you checked the Smith chain. I don't think your opponent did.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, God.
Yeah, I think actually saiontea never set foot in Outcast ever in this race.
Yeah, he didn't touch it.
Really? That's surprising.
I think that was like one of the major differences. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure.
There we go. Looks like we are now joined by our runner-up here, saiontea. Well played, very close race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're sitting here anxiously awaiting your collection rate because we think it's a little lower than Elminster's. Because there were a lot of things that you sort of put off.
Yeah.
Walter was saying that he thinks you didn't set foot in Village of Outcasts.
And no, I skipped that entirely. When I went to Hera, I forgot it was a pendant, you see, so I thought I was behind, so I decided not to do any of that area.
Just 167, so not a huge difference, but a little lower over there for you. Yeah, the Village of Outcasts check did turn out to be pretty devoid of anything. But yeah, It was an interesting play. Both of you actually did Hera all the way through. We thought one of you might peace out and head to Hookshot, or not Hookshot, Paradox Cave first, but both runners decided to go ahead and just do those 2 items in Hera, just to get them out of the way. Pretty thorough checks until the later section of the game. The main thing that kind of trolled you there, saiontea, of course, was the being on Fighter's Sword the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what informed your decision about not going into Mire immediately.
I saw the Mire shield and I went, stuff could be on Laser Bridge, so I just thought I'd just go ahead and check that first.
And of course, nobody wants to do Fighter's Sword Vitreous, even though you ended up doing it.
Yeah.
It was a very, very nice fight with some bombs thrown in, literally thrown in. But yeah, it was a very, very nice run from both of you. I enjoyed it immensely. And I'm assuming that I know you're probably disappointed that you didn't win this, but I don't think you can feel bad about your performance here today.
No, it's mixed feelings really. It's like I've been playing it for like 8 weeks now, and I think I need a break from it, and I need to actually play some other games now.
Yeah, that does seem like an idea.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and ask you guys: is there anything else you'd like to say about this particular run or this tournament? Or anything you'd like to shout out before we wrap things up here today?
I would like to give a shout out to Gazelle Shop for being an awesome person and not asking for shout outs. I think that's about it.
Oh boy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, yeah, I did enjoy being part of the tournament, and most likely see you during the 4 tournaments as well.
All right. So, once again, I want to thank Elminster and saiontea for running here today, showing off their talents. I want to thank our tracker, Kirito86, for taking care of the items you see on the screen here today. And, of course, my co-commentator, Walter IV. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you to you as well, Dr. Fantastic.
So we've got more randomizer matches coming up today. There are about 4 of them starting within the next 2 hours. Some on speed gaming channels and some on ALTTP randomizer channels. But all of them are, pretty big matches. And additional matches throughout the night as we head on toward the evening. So, with that, I think it's about time to wrap things up. So I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I've been Walter IV.
And we'll see you later.